5,000 black rhinos left in the entire world, including captivity. Now, they have no natural predators, folks. The only reason for their decline is unfortunately because of humans. Between deforestation and poaching, they are heavily poached for the beautiful horn on their head, which is believed to have medicinal value. However, folks, those horns are made up of the same keratin we have in our own hair and fingernails, so please pass that along. Now, folks, we are going to head over towards the Safi River next. Now, the Safi River is home to animals like the Nile crocodile and the hippopotamus. Now, folks, I am always excited to see hippos, while crocodiles not quite as much. But no worries, my friends, Hakuna Matata. We are nice and high up in this truck, so those crocodiles shouldn't be able to get to us. Now, we will be checking out two sides of the river today, folks. We're going to start out on the right-hand side, see if we can find anything. It does look like there's two lovely hippos over here by the tree stumps sticking up out of the water. Now, the hippopotamus cannot breathe underwater, but they can hold their breath for up to 8 minutes at a time. Take a look up here to the left-hand side, you'll see the rest of the pod. Now, folks, the hippopotamus, although it can swim, they do prefer just to walk along the bottom of the river. That'll help them conserve energy since they do spend most of the day eating and sleeping, which can be absolutely exhausting, folks, as you can imagine. These large birds down here, folks, these are called the pink-backed pelicans. Now, the pink-backed pelican's back feathers will turn a lovely shade of pink just around mating season. Now, it's not quite that time of the year just yet, so they are still gray and white. However, when they do turn pink, it's almost as bright as a flamingo pink, and it is very lovely to see. Now, folks, we are going to proceed with caution as we head over the Crocodile Bridge. So make sure everyone does remain fully and completely seated and do not lean out of the window. And if you do take a look, you will see quite a few Nile crocodiles down there. Now, folks, a lot of people have a hard time telling the difference between a crocodile and an alligator. Now, crocodiles like these have a very pointed snout and lots of protruding, snaggle teeth, while an alligator has a much more rounded snout and they don't have those same snaggle teeth. However, folks, if you do ever find yourself in the wild and you are close enough to one of these creatures to be able to identify if it is either a crocodile or an alligator, you may be just a tad too close to that animal, folks. And I would suggest getting to safety as soon as possible, as they are much faster than they look. Now we are going to make our way over towards the savannah. Now, the savannah is home to lots of very popular animals, including the giraffe. But first, take a look up here to the right-hand side of this beautiful tree, folks. Now, this is called a baobab tree. Now, the baobab tree is nicknamed the upside-down tree, for if you take a look, it does look a little bit like someone uprooted a tree and flipped it right over. The baobab tree is also called the tree of life because of its ability to retain water in its massive trunk. To help it do that, folks, that tree only has leaves for 3 months out of the year, but it must be doing something right since the baobab tree can live to be several thousand years old. So whatever it's doing a great job, folks. Now, these massive horned creatures down here, folks, these are called the Ankole cattle. Now, the Ankole cattle's horns can reach around 4 feet in length. So they do get very large, folks. But those horns are actually not too heavy. In fact, they're almost completely hollow on the inside. They're made up of a very light honeycomb structure that will circulate blood through their horns, helping them to regulate their body temperature. It's kind of like having a built-in air conditioning, folks. Take a look. So the bigger the horns on the Ankole cattle, the cooler they can be. Must be nice. You may just be looking at something. It's usually food related. They're very food motivated animals. Now, folks, in some societies, even still today, the Ankole cattle is used as a symbol of wealth. However, you can't exactly put cattle in a bank, so instead they are displayed on yards, on properties, farms, and the more cattle someone has, and the larger their horns, the wealthier that person is perceived to be. That does mean that farmers have had to start becoming very creative in ways to keep their cattle in because people will try to steal them. Coming up here to the left-hand side, these are the African wild dogs taking a snooze up there on the hill. Now, the African wild dogs are also called painted dogs because of their beautiful fur coat. It does look like someone just splattered them with paint. Now, folks, they are part of the canine family, but they are not like our dog friends back at home. In fact, the African wild dogs are not only extremely intelligent, but they are the most successful and therefore the most dangerous predators in Africa, and they're amongst some of the most successful predators in the world. So you don't exactly want to play fetch with them, folks. Coming up here to the left-hand side, those are the sable antelopes. Now, the sable antelopes are our icon here at the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Almost anything with our name on it will also be complemented by their beautiful silhouette. Coming up here to the left-hand side, folks, there's a beautiful Patterson's eland. Now, the female Patterson's eland weighs around 1,000 pounds, but this very dashing gentleman up here to the left is a male Patterson's eland who weighs 2,000 pounds. And if you take a look, folks, right now, he's actually doing a display of dominance for us. If you take a look, you'll notice he has lots of bramble and debris in his horns. They do that, they'll go through the bushes and try to collect as much vegetation as they can, and that is how they display dominance, folks. Isn't he handsome? He got a big branch.
And he thinks he's cool.
I lovingly refer to it as their flower crown.
Yeah, it must be.
Now, coming up here to the right-hand side, folks, it looks like there's some lovely springbok and some white-bearded wildebeest up ahead, so we'll make our way over there. Now, folks, the large reddish-brown structures that are jutting up out of the ground, these are called termite mounds. Termite mounds are as hard as concrete, and animals like elephants will use them as a scratching post. Once they're nice and worn down, smaller creatures like the antelope and the springbok will hop right on top of them to help them get a better lookout point for any predators that could be on the prowl nearby. Now, folks, the springbok get their name from their ability to spring up to 9 feet in the air and up to 13 feet across. Although they're very little, folks, those are all full-grown adult springbok, they don't get bigger than about 2 feet tall, so they stay very small, folks. Those gray creatures up there are the white-bearded wildebeest. Now, the white-bearded wildebeest have one of the largest migrations of land animals in the world, with numbers up to 1.3 million. And it looks like there's quite a few lovely giraffes up ahead, folks. It looks like there's even more up ahead to the left. Now, folks, when you see a group of giraffes together like this, it's not referred to as a herd. Instead, it's referred to as a tower. Yep, this is a tower of giraffes. And if you take a look, folks, these 3 smaller giraffes that are right here, these are just toddlers. They're a little bit older than babies, but they're not quite big kids just yet. Now, folks, a giraffe, when it's born, is already 6 feet tall, while a full-grown adult giraffe can reach around 20 feet high. But, folks, a giraffe, after 5 minutes after it's born, can already start to walk, and two more minutes after that, that newborn giraffe can already start to run. And a giraffe can run up to 40 miles an hour, which is pretty impressive for most animals anyway. Let's see. Looks a little quiet up here to the left. See if we can spot any movement up in the trees or in the bushes. Andros may still be snoozing. Oh, it looks like there's a lovely elephant coming up here to your right. Let's see if we can get a better view. Alright, now folks, this road does look closed, so I guess we are going to have to take the older path down, but I'm sure that has something to do with our lovely elephant friend. Now folks, where there is one elephant, the rest of the herd is usually not too far away, so let's keep an eye out for the rest of the herd. Let's see if we can find them, folks. There's a little bit of a bump right here, so just hang on for a moment. All right, now we are going to take this bridge poly-poly, folks. That does mean very slow. It is a little bit of an older bridge, but at least there's no crocodiles underneath this one.
Such a Disney bridge.
Yeah. There we go. Now, I know that didn't sound too great, folks, but I'm sure that's nothing a little WD-40 can't fix. I'm sure it's quite all right. Very safe. Nothing bad, folks. We're all set. Now, in better news, it does look like we are entering elephant country. If you take a look out to either side, you'll notice lots of tusk marks in the clay. Elephants, like the ones coming up here to your left-hand side, they do like to eat small amounts of red clay. That'll help give them minerals they wouldn't usually get in their vegetation diet.
Talk about minerals.
Now, folks, elephants are a matriarchal society. Their herds are made up of females and their young. Male elephants are generally much more solitary in nature, and once they are old enough to leave the herd, they'll really only hang around a few times a year. Now, did you folks spot the way that she was kind of flapping her ears? So that is one of the ways elephants will help keep themselves cool. It is kind of like having two big fans on either side of your head. Even though I do like to often imagine that's them waving to us, I think it makes them look like quite a friendly bunch. Oh, take a look at that baby elephant, folks. She is only about 7 months old. And although she's very little in comparison to the grown-ups, she's already about 600 pounds, so she's not exactly a lap baby, folks. But an elephant, when it's born, is already somewhere between 200 and 300 pounds. Now, folks, you'll notice this lovely elephant over here spraying herself with mud. That's another way they'll help keep themselves cool, but the mud will also help protect their skin from the harsh rays of the sun. Very good. Now, folks, coming up here to the left-hand side, these are the greater flamingos. Now, the greater flamingos are one of the taller of the flamingo species, reaching around 3 feet tall. If you take a look, those gray and white birds down there with the dark gray legs, those are baby flamingos. They're about 3 months old, so they're a little bit younger than that elephant friend we just saw.
I've never seen a baby.
It is going to take them about a year to outgrow their gray baby feathers and gain the beautiful pink plumage of the adults. But folks, when you see a group of flamingos together, it's not referred to as a flock. Instead, it is referred to as a flamboyance. So that is a flamboyance of flamingos. Looks like there are some beautiful white rhinos laying down back there. Now, folks, the white rhinos, as you can see, are not white in color. Please sit down, sweetheart. Sit down. Thank you. Please stay seated for me, folks. The white rhinos get their name from a mispronunciation of the Afrikaans word weit, which means wide. That is in reference to their very wide rectangular mouths, which are significantly wider than that of the black rhino cousin, who has a sharp-pointed triangular-shaped mouth. Now, just like the elephants, the rhinos will use the mud as a way to protect their skin from the sun. However, since they don't have a trunk, instead they'll just roll around in the mud. Coming up here to the left-hand side, see if you can spot the 2 cheetahs laying up on the hill. There's one a little more to the left and one a little closer to the right, but that one is a little more behind a tree. The one on the left is laying down with her head propped up, so she's nice and visible for us. Now, the cheetahs are the fastest of the land mammals. They can run over 60 miles an hour, and they can keep that speed going for about the length of a football field, and they do get a little tired. Need to lay down for a bit of a cat nap, if you will. It does look like there's another cheetah laying down just up there, folks. Now, unlike the other big cats, cheetahs do not roar. Instead, they make a very high-pitched, squeaky meowing sound, as well as a very soft purr. I've never quite been close enough to the cheetahs to hear the purring sound, folks, but I have heard their meow. It almost sounds like a toy. Now, this large rock formation is called a kopie. Now, sometimes you can spot animals like lions up on the kopie, so we'll definitely keep an eye out for any of them. Now, lions are nocturnal creatures, which does mean that they sleep during the day. In fact, a lion will sleep anywhere between 16 and 22 hours a day. Looks like there's another white rhino up there to the right, and it looks like there's some beautiful lions snoozing on the left. It looks like there's some ostrich out to your right-hand side as well. Now, folks, when they are active and awake at night, it is the female lions that are in charge of hunting for the pride, while the male lion will stay behind to protect the pride and any cubs. They sure know how to make a rock look comfortable, don't they, folks? Aren't they just beautiful? So coming up here to the left-hand side, these look like warthog burrows. There's a lovely warthog laying down just underneath that tree up there. Looks like he's snoozing. Now the warthogs are burrowing creatures. That is where their tusks do come in handy. So use them to dig up those little homes you see down there. Now folks, the ostrich are the largest in the bird family. They also lay the largest eggs. If you take a look down here to the right-hand side, you will see a nest of ostrich eggs, folks. Those eggs can weigh up to 3 pounds each. But I would avoid them if I were you and you were in the wild, folks. His mom is very territorial and she can run up to 35 miles an hour, folks. So she can outrun me at least. Now, have you ever wondered if a zebra is black with white stripes or white with black stripes? Well, zebras are black with white stripes. If you take a look at their nose, around their eyes, towards their feet and tail, you can tell that black is their base color. And now you know. Now, not all zebras are like that, of course, folks. There are some zebras that are brown with white stripes. Now, this is Magadi Glen. It's a little bit of a quieter area, but we'll keep our eyes out for anything. Looks like there's something laying down on the hill up here to the left. Now, folks, this is the scimitar horned oryx. Now, the scimitar horned oryx is named after the Middle Eastern sword, the scimitar, which has a beautiful curved blade, much like those lovely horns. Oh, they are absolutely beautiful, folks. I think they look like they came right out of a fairy tale. Now, these birds up here to the right-hand side, these are the yellow-billed storks. Now, the yellow-billed storks have a wingspan of around 4 to 6 feet across. They are carnivorous birds. They will eat anything they can catch. Anything from small fish all the way up to larger things like snakes and other birds. They're not very picky eaters, folks. Oh, isn't he beautiful? Now, folks, we are going to start heading back towards civilization and the African village. However, we did get to see quite a few beautiful animals on our visit today, folks. Did you have any favorites that you got to see? Lions. The warthog. The white rhinos. Oh, I didn't even get to tell you my favorite rhino fact. Do you know what a group of rhinos is called? A crash. I can't believe I forgot to tell you that, folks. That's one of my favorite things to say. Now, folks, if we do have any wilderness explorers on board, my name is Stacy, and you are riding the Simba 1, S-I-M-B-A, and the number 1. You will need to know that to get your next badge, which will be on page 15 of the Wilderness Explorer Handbook. Now, I will be dropping you off just up ahead, so please gather up your belongings. But here in Harambe, we don't like to say goodbye. Instead, we like to say kwaherini, which means to go well. So kwaherini, my friends, thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of the beautiful animals today and learning about them as well.
enjoyed your boat ride.
Actual water going out. Ooh, that feels good.
Look at us glow.
Look at you glow.
let's prep the genetic sampling.
I'm on it.
Okay, first we need to find the compatible match of your genetic material with the genetic material of one of the avatar bodies that we already have. Once we do that, you'll be able to link to that avatar and fly. Help us out and move around a bit. Almost. Yes, got him. Now, let's find your avatar matches.
Sweet. I got a match. I got a match.
All right, you've all been matched with avatars. Looks like they're ready for you in the next room. When the door opens, please go inside, all the way in, and stand over the same number that you're standing over now. And I'll see you in there.
Actually, it's
Too dark.
6. It's 9. That's what happens when you're up backwards.
Excited.
Numbers, everyone getting a pair of glasses. Do not put these on until the next room. Just hold on to these until you are sitting down in the next room. We're watching another quick video.
6, not 9. Oh, look, there we are.
Same one you were just standing on. Here we are.
It's pretty cool. Showing us.
A little bit cool. and a
Great,
little bit
you've
creepy.
all made it. It's important that you can all see me, so move a little if you can't. Before we send you into the link chamber, let's watch this piece by Dr. Ogden, who runs the program.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Dr. Jackie Ogden from the Pandora Conservation Initiative. You're about to experience a ceremony that's very special to the Na'vi, flying on the back of an Ikran, or as we call it, a banshee. To the Na'vi, connecting to an Ikran and flying on its back is an incredibly important rite of passage they call Ikni Maya. With permission from the Na'vi and in partnership with Alpha Centauri Expeditions, we can now bring this amazing experience to you. The way you'll be able to fly is by linking to an avatar that's already on the back of an Ikran. Let's see how this works.
We establish a link using powerful psionic amplification equipment. A human driver is connected to an avatar, which could be physically hundreds of kilometers away. When you follow our technician into the link chamber, you'll see a series of 16 link chairs. Please go to the number that matches the number you're standing on now. First, stow your gear in the storage containers on the back wall. This should include all bags, cameras, and other items, including cell phones. It's important to push them all the way into the bin. Then get onto the chair as you would a bike. Straddle the seat, step forward, and sit down. Slide your hips forward until you are against the chest pad, and then move your feet all the way forward. Wait until you're seated before you put on your flight visors. Hold on to the hand grips as shown. It's important to hold on to the hand grips at all times. After you're seated, back and leg restraints will be firmly engaged. For your safety, throughout this entire experience, always remain seated and supervise your children.
Once the link takes place, you'll be connected to your avatar and sitting on the back of an Ikran. It'll feel like you're really there. Moments later, you'll begin your flight. A Na'vi guide will lead you out. You'll experience the breathtaking beauty of Pandora, but you might also face some of its greatest challenges. Some of this flight might be intense, but trust your guide and be brave. As the Na'vi say during this important rite of passage, Sivak Ho, rise to the challenge. Good luck.
All right, you ready? Let's get you into the link chamber.
First row, you're following me. Second row, going after them. All the way down to the end. All the way down to the end.
Attention drivers, stow your gear on the back wall and then get onto the link chair the way we showed you in the video. Then put on your flight visors. For your safety, throughout this entire experience, remain seated, or holding onto the handrails to supervise your children.
Para su seguridad, durante toda